Hey guys, new hair, who dis? But I thought I'd try something different. Shout out to my Neo, Osa, for helping me test out these twists. I'm really used to my big hair. I don't know how people deal with this on a regular basis. The first day was horrible, and then like it's gotten better, but it's a lot on my neck. Now I'm gonna tell you about my time. Stop in Italy, and I've always wanted to go to Italy because I have an obsession with pasta, and what better place to try pasta than Italy? I've heard so many great things about Rome. I kind of wish I stayed longer, but of course, where to start? Where did I stay? I stayed at the Yellow Hostel, which is a party hostel. I had to take a train from the airport to where I was staying. The popular train hub was called Roma Termini, or I guess the Rome terminal. And then my hostel was walking distance from there. But so the hostel kind of has a few different components to it, and it takes up a good portion of the block that it's on. The hostel had a laundromat, a bike shop, a barber shop, the lounge area where you keep your lockers, a kitchen, and then they have like a sub bar where they have the parties. There were also restaurants there too, so it was a lot of feeling of community just right on that block. Like if you were outside, inside, you were just mingling with people anyway. I stayed in a 6-person mixed room. As you can see, the beds weren't as decorative, or they were very simple. There were 3 other girls in there and then a guy. It had 2 showers, and then a lot of this like open space, because now at this point mixed rooms are cheaper. So since I was like, I had an okay experience in Ibiza, I was just like, I might as well just stick with the mixed rooms, save money. So this was my room, pretty simple, had the top bunk this time. The hostel offered a lot of tours and activities. They had like cooking classes and walking tours, and they even offered like free pasta dinner. I do recommend, if you are gonna book a hostel, I've used Hostel World, and I think it's a great way for you to search for hostels, but you might wanna look at the Direct Hostels website, because you might get even more of a discount. So with the Yellow, if you book it through their website, you get a discount off of liquor. So recommendation, search on Hostel World, because it's all of them in one. See which one you like, and then look up their direct website and see if you get more of a deal. I definitely ate the free dinner. Don't ask me where I got the energy from, because besides taking a nap in the airport during my layover in Barcelona, I thought I was gonna be exhausted and I was just gonna do my little exploration and then go to sleep. No, I ended up going to a party that night at the hostel. They played a lot of hip hop and R&B, which was surprising because I was probably the only Black person there, but had a good time. But so what did I do my first day exploring? I was only staying there for about 2.5 days, so I needed to maximize my time as best as possible. I walked to the Trevi fountain, which I'm sure everyone has heard about. It's huge. If you want to say tourist attraction, yeah, it was crowded. And I went there, I guess not really late at night, but some people have said if you try to go like after midnight, it'll be a little emptier, but it was packed. Everybody had their selfie stick, taking pictures and just sitting around. I mean, it's a beautiful fountain to look at. It's the largest fountain in Rome, and probably also the most famous. It's definitely been in movies, so it's something to walk past and see. That was the first time I actually utilized a selfie stick. I feel weird about using a selfie stick. I really feel like a tourist, and I didn't want to feel like a tourist. But I bought the Me Photo backpacker tripod. It folds up really small, and then like you can open it to a tripod, and it also turns into a selfie stick. So I felt like, you know, had multiple functions. It's actually what I'm using right now to record on my phone. So I whipped that thing into a little selfie stick, and it even comes with a Bluetooth like remote so you can snap the picture. And then I kept walking. Rome is filled of piazzas and palazzos. They are everywhere, and there are fountains everywhere. I don't know the names of them because there's so many. Then the next day, I rented a bike from the hostel. I decided to explore Rome further than I could walk. I went to the Vatican City. It's its own independent city-state that's just enclaved in Rome. So I went there hoping to go into the museum and see the Sistine Chapel. But one of the guards there was like, look, if you come back right at the last entry, there's no line. So you could just walk right in, and it's a little cooler because it was hot as fuck. I got sick in Rome. I'll explain why in a second. But riding a bicycle, I was drenched in sweat. I have pictures of how sweaty I ended up being. That's probably why I think I lost weight when I came back from Europe. But so since I rode to the Vatican and he told me that, I decided to explore other places before I came back. So I went to the Pantheon. It was a temple, which is now like a church. And that's where they have some famous or important people buried, like some artists, some kings and architects, and it's free. So it was just nice to go to, especially since I rode past it and it was a popular thing to walk past. Then I rode to the Colosseum. Instead of going inside that moment, I bought a ticket to come back tomorrow and then rode back to the Vatican City. Talk about a workout. I rode through parks. I rode through so a lot of the plazas. I even kind of terrified myself because I ended up on a highway on a bicycle. And imagine like you're on like a 2-lane like highway that's going kind of like through this park. Don't ask me how I got there. And normally they have the little side like street that you can walk on, but there was construction. So that stopped. But it was like, should I go back? I've already gotten this far. So I pretty much had to like muster up the courage to like go into the street and just ride as quickly as possible. I was so stressed. I was so tired. I thought I was gonna die. I thought somebody was just gonna hit me, or I was also pissing off the people that were riding behind me. So I rode back to the Vatican City. I got there last entry, couldn't find the entrance though. And he was right. There pretty much was no line. They just let everybody in. So I'm walking through the Vatican Museum, again, drenched in sweat. I'm not a big museum person, like I've mentioned in my past videos, but I definitely feel like you can't go to Rome without going to the Vatican City and seeing the Sistine Chapel. So I went through the museum, saw a lot of nice stuff. You know, the artwork is pretty. The gardens are very beautiful. The last stop, obviously, before you exit the museum, is the Sistine Chapel. That's what everybody wants to see. I was a little nervous because I saw a thing that was like, make sure you're dressed appropriately to go into the Sistine Chapel. I had shorts on, so I was a little nervous. So I just kind of like made sure to mosey in with a large group so they wouldn't notice, but I don't think it was that big of a deal. Also, I don't pay for tours. If you haven't noticed from my other videos, I just like to explore myself. If I want to read something, great. If I don't, I like to keep walking. So if there was anything I was curious about, I just kind of found an English-speaking door and stood kind of close to them to listen and then kind of walk with and then keep going. So, you know, you still get the same information, you just don't have to pay for it. The ceiling, which is the whole point that people go, because it was the Last Judgment that was painted by Michelangelo. It is a beautiful ceiling. However, I thought the Sistine Chapel was going to be a lot bigger. I don't know, I think I just assumed it was huge, but definitely the artwork on the ceiling is beautiful. I tried to sneak a picture, but it didn't really work. But I'm sure there's enough pictures of the ceiling. After I left the Sistine Chapel, I rode back to my hostel. This is the reason why I got sick, I feel like, because I did all of that riding all day. And what do you think I ate? Nothing. Did you hear me talk about food at all yet? No. I think I drank some water. I don't even think I had breakfast at the hostel. I don't remember eating anything. So by the time I got back to the hostel, there's a restaurant that's on the block of the hostel. It's called Ristorante Julie. The food was really good. Now, I was excited to eat pasta in Italy, but I ordered everything because I was so hungry. So I ordered bruschetta, I ordered calamari, and I ordered pasta arabu, some spicy marinara pasta. The pasta, the sauce, it was simple, but it was delicious. And the bruschetta, oh my God, it was so good too. I wanted to just like take more home with me. And I met this nice lady from Australia. Her name was Sandy. She was solo by herself for a couple of days. So we chatted, had a great conversation, but the food was delicious. I went back to my hostel. I was gonna go to the party again, but I felt a little queasy. So I decided to sleep it off. I decided to stay in the room. And ooh, I have another hostel story for you. So you know how I mentioned that there were 3 girls that were in my room and 1 gentleman. They were really nice, but you know, they were out, they went to turn up, they went got drunk. One of them tried to give me some drugs saying that it was gonna make my stomach feel better, but I didn't really trust it. So now I'm asleep and I start hearing a noise. And so I'm like, is somebody dying? And it turns out one of the girls brought some dude back and was fucking him in that open space, like next, you know, that there's nothing in. They was having sex. And I think at first they tried to be quiet. That's probably why it sounded like she was choking. But by the end of it, he didn't care. It was a lot of all of that. It was a lot of sound effects. And then I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's not even like, you know, you went in the bathroom and had sex. Like, it's an open area. But I really thought she was dying at first. Eventually, I guess they fell asleep in that other room. And then in the morning, he was in her bunk bed with her. Live your life, honey, okay? You know, you wanted some, you got some. I was hoping to find me an Italian husband while I was out there. Didn't happen. After I slept it off, I was like, you know what? Now, my last day to explore Rome before I got on my train to Venice. I got up, I got ready, still felt a little queasy, but I was like, I need to go to the Colosseum. So my dumbass walked to the Colosseum. Again, it was very hot. All I drank was water because I don't remember having breakfast. Now the Colosseum, again, something that everyone should know about. It's one of the largest amphitheaters that has ever been built. You know, Gladiator and all that stuff happened there. It is a beautiful structure and just how massive it is. And just thinking about what used to go on there, definitely the history is, it weighs more when you're there and you get to see just even how large the stones are. I went to Egypt and I went to the pyramids, and it's even like, what the fuck? Like, how do people build this? Back then, when you buy 1 ticket for the Colosseum, it also grants you access to the Roman Forum and the Palatine Hill, which has other like monuments and more of like an archaeological site, which is right next to the Colosseum. I didn't realize how, I think, dehydrated my body was from riding the bike the day before, walking today in the heat, not eating. I planned to eat, but I was also trying to get a lot done. So I didn't even get to walk through most of the Roman Forum because I almost passed the fuck out. I thought I had to throw up. I thought I had to use the bathroom. I was like guzzling water. I just had to sit down. I didn't know what the fuck to do. And walking, I was so weak, but I kept trying to push through because I was going to Venice. I was leaving. So it was like, I wanted to see as much as possible. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make it. I had to call myself an Uber. And, you know, trying to save money, I would have preferred to walk back, but I couldn't do it. The few pictures that I did take, it is a beautiful sight. I had to take my ass back to the hostel. And since I had to check out, luckily this hostel does have lockers, so I was able to lock my stuff up. I went to this diner that was next to the hostel. It was, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, so that's the name of it. And because I felt so sick, I got a minestrone soup. And normally I don't like minestrone soup in America, but it was so good. I legit sat in the lounge in the hostel and cried because that was the one time I was just like, I don't feel good. I'm by myself. I'm supposed to get on this train. What am I gonna do? Got it together, forced myself to eat the soup, and then I took a nap in the lounge area on like a beanbag chair. When I woke up, I felt a little better. So I got another soup and then walked to the train station. Because I feel like no Euro trip is complete without taking a train from one city to the next. So I felt like I had to. So the closest cities that I was going to was Rome to Venice. So that train was about like 3 hours long. So I really want to go back to Rome because I feel like I didn't really get to do as much as I would have liked to. Like, yes, I hit a lot of the popular things, but I would have loved to have stayed there longer. And I'm sure I would have had more fun and met more people if I was able to stay longer. I definitely enjoyed Rome a lot. So next place is Venice, the place that's supposedly sinking. So hope you like my video so far. As usual, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Please, if you are choosing to follow what I have done, tag me, comment, let me know, share it, tell other people. Or if there's more things that you want to know about the cities that I've been to, I mean, ask, and then so I can like add them to my next videos. But yeah, hope you like my journey so far, and see you next time.